Hey guys, Ashen One here, and welcome to this Demon Souls video on creating a completely game-breaking magic build that will see you one-shotting bosses on every new game plus difficulty. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Okay, so in this video we are going to look at the gear we want to get first, then we will look at the spells. We'll need to be careful though, as some of the items and spells are made from the same boss soul. So this isn't an early game guide like my usual ones, this is going to take us into New Game Plus and beyond, so beware, there will be spoilers. Right, housekeeping done, let's get on with getting the gear first. First up, we have the Fragrant Ring, which you can get by simply choosing the royalty class at the start. I would advise starting with this class if you are following this guide. The Fragrant Ring will slowly restore your MP over time. Second, we have the Kris Blade. You can get the Kris Blade very early on in World 2.1 just before the Armoured Spider boss. It's just up here. On the surface, the Kris Blade doesn't look like much, but if you have it in your offhand while casting magic in your main hand, it actually increases the magic damage you do. The Kris Blade can be leveled to +5 with colourless demon souls, and yes, every level up increases the boost it gives you to your magic damage. Third, we have the Ring of Magical Sharpness. This can be found in World 3.1 on floor 4 in this cell in the Iron Maiden just before you come down to continue through the area. The Ring of Magical Sharpness will increase the magic damage you do, but makes you weaker to magic attacks as well. But don't worry, we're going to sort this out later on. Fourth, we have the Monk's Head Wrappings in World 3. When you put a co-op sign down in World 3, there is a chance that you can be summoned as the final boss to PvP with a player who is trying to clear the world. If you win this fight as an invading boss, you will be gifted the Monk's Head Wrappings. This piece of headgear increases your magic damage by 30%, but increases your weakness to magic by 40%. But don't worry, as mentioned before, there is a way to combat this. Fifth, we have the Insanity Catalyst from the boss soul in World 3.3, the Old Monk's Soul. Now, the Insanity Catalyst will halve your MP, but it will violently increase your magic damage. For those screaming Talisman of Beasts at the screen, don't worry, we'll look into alternatives at the end of the video. Sixth, we have our favourite weapon featuring for the millionth time, the Crescent Falchion in World 4.1. We can get this almost immediately, turn left out of the trap room, watch the Blade Master and grab it. The Crescent Falchion, as I'm sure you all know by now, has the following awesome traits. It causes bleed, it slowly restores MP, and its damage scales amazingly with the magic stat, which we are going to be getting to level 50. You can get the Crescent Falchion to +5 using the shards you get throughout World 4. And finally we have the Dark Silver Shield, which we get when we defeat Garl Vinland in the Maiden Estrella boss fight at the end of World 5. The Dark Silver Shield gives us 100% magic defense and 100% physical defense, so this can be used against all magical spells and magical weapons so that we don't take any damage. You can level up the Dark Silver Shield to +5 with colourless demon souls, and where it increases magic defense, it also lowers magic damage, but this does not affect the damage of our Crescent Falchion, it only affects spells. Okay, so there's all the gear, and hopefully we have some idea, and this is how I like to load it out. The Crescent Falchion is used with the Dark Silver Shield for close quarters combat, and no reduction to our magic damage from the sword, and the Kris Blade and Insanity Catalyst are used for ranged and casting. Now, the Monk's Head Wrappings, the Ring of Magical Sharpness and the Kris Blade are all boosting our magic damage output, and they are stacking. This is awesome, and our Crescent Falchion and Fragrant Ring are restoring our MP. Nice. In regards to your armour, I will leave that down to your playstyle, and also I will say the same about how you level up your stats. But we want to get the magic stat to level 50, as this is the soft cap for most things like the Insanity Catalyst, and you want to get intelligence to 40 for maximum spell slots and a good amount of MP. How you spend the other points is up to you. Okay, with our gear in place, let's look at the spells that we have ready to be cast with phenomenal power. In no particular order, we have Firestorm. Now this spell is going to break the game regardless of your New Game Plus difficulty. Firestorm is a fire-based AoE spell that just wrecks. You will need the Dragon God Soul from the Dragon God boss in World 2.3 to exchange for the spell with Yuria the Witch. If you don't know how to gain access to Yuria, don't worry, there's a video in the description. Second, we have Soul Ray. Soul Ray is like a stronger version of Soul Arrow, and it will actually pass through multiple enemies if they are stood in a line. This is a fast casting ranged spell that does great damage. You will need the Doll Demon Soul from the boss in World 3-1, the Fool's Idol. And you will need to have freed Sage Freke from World 3. I'll link a guide to do this in the description. Third, we have Homing Soul Arrow. Now, Homing Soul Arrow is made from the same boss soul as the Insanity Catalyst, the Old Monk's Soul. So in your first playthrough, you'll have to decide what you want first. Homing Soul Arrow will spawn a number of soul arrows around you, depending on your magic level, up to a max of 5. When you get close to an enemy, they will fire at them for great damage. Fourth, we actually have 3 different spells. The Clouds. First, we have Poison Cloud, which causes poison to enemies that stand in it. You will need to exchange the Leechmonger's Soul from World 5-1 with Sage Freke to get it. Next, we have Acid Cloud, which will destroy the durability of enemies' equipped weapons and armour, great for PvP. You will need the Eroded Demon Soul from the Dirty Colossus boss from World 5-2, and again, exchange it with Sage Freke. And finally, Death Cloud. Death Cloud will cause plague to enemies that stand in it. You will need the Pureblood Demon Soul, which you get from the Maiden Estrella boss fight at the end of World 5, and once again, you'll be exchanging it with Sage Freke. And fifth is Soul Sucker. Soul Sucker can be obtained by using the Maiden in Black Demon Soul with Yuria the Witch. You get this soul by allowing the Maiden in Black to survive at the end of the game, and you will need to free Yuria again in New Game Plus to get Soul Sucker. If you successfully cast Soul Sucker on any mob, enemy, Black Phantom or PvP invader, they will die in one shot. Game over, baby. Phew, okay, that's a lot. Why don't we see some of this stuff in action then? And remember, I haven't even discussed Hyper Mode with you yet, so let's just see how good all this is, and then if you need to know more about Hyper Mode, there's a link in the description to one of my videos which explains how to activate it. And finally then, if the Insanity Catalyst isn't for you, then you can grab the Talisman of Beasts, link in the description, which allows you to cast both spells and miracles. So if you level up Faith as well, you can cast both spells and miracles from the Talisman of Beasts. Imagine all this magic power with Second Chance and other buffs active as well. So there you have it, guys. If you follow this guide even loosely, you will break Demon Souls for good. So just be careful with it. Let me know what you think of my loadout and how would you do it differently? What are your favourite spells? Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.